What's up, everybody? GeauxBurns here, welcoming you to the sixth installment of my Grand Theft Auto Online tip series, giving you pointers and advice how you can go from not only surviving, but thriving in Grand Theft Auto Online, from rags to riches, baby. From just a few $1,000s in your pocket at the bottom of the barrel, with maybe one car if you're lucky, that crappy two-car garage, to ranking up, to making the paper, the big stacks of cash, that's right. Yeah. Anyways, if you want to go back and check out the previous installments of my tip series to help you out even further, all 6 episodes currently linked up right now on the screen. Go back and watch the tips playlist, and you might just get a tip or two that could help you out along the way. No promises, though. There's no guarantees in life. I just do the best I can. Anyway, today's episode of Tip 6.0, we are going to be talking about how you can make more money at missions. That's right, mission tips first. Then we're going to move on to combat tips and maybe, just maybe, a bonus tip or two along the way. Okay, so first off, let's talk about investment opportunities. So you've been raking up, earning money, you got a nice house, 6-car or 10-car garage, a couple sweet rides, maybe even a Super, a Zentorno, an Adder, an Entity, whatever your vehicle preference or choice is, and you got it to at least rank 43 so far, plus heading on up there towards 100 and beyond. And you need an awesome military vehicle that can help you out in both free mode and doing missions like Trash Talk, Denial of Service, Blow Up 1 and 2, and a few others. I would highly recommend investing in the Buzzard Attack helicopter. Now, this is a very expensive investment, $1.7 million, but in my opinion, it's very worth it. Now, there's other vehicles as well we're going to talk about, like the Rhino tank, which opens up at rank 70 for $1.5 million. It's useful, it's a lot of fun, but you don't need it as much as the Buzzard Attack helicopter. And of course, there's the Annihilator, which you can get at Elitist for $1.8 million. It opens up at rank 37. But a lot of these vehicles will start to spawn all over the map on helipads and at airports whenever you reach certain ranks. So you don't have to buy these particular vehicles in free mode, but for specific reasons to use in, say, missions like we mentioned. Now, talking about mission tips, okay, so we're doing a mission right now, Denial of Service, in the Buzzard Attack helicopter with Cynthia, my secondary character. Now, how do you make more money doing a mission like this? Well, first off, you want to set the mission to hard, as long as you're comfortable playing it hard. And I am, obviously. It's very easy to do in a Buzzard Attack helicopter, especially if you're good at flying and shooting in a Buzzard. Now, doing it on hard means more money and, of course, more RP. Another way to make more money doing this mission is by taking your sweet time. That's right, you take your time, you don't rush through it, and you'll earn more cash, more money, and, of course, more rank, more points. Doing drive-bys, flying around after you're done, just waiting to go wrap up the final aspect of the mission, the final leg. Just goof off. Listen to the radio. Maybe a favorite song of yours is on, Los Santos Rock Radio, or Radio Mira Park, or whatever station you enjoy listening to. Just browse around. If you find a song you like, just listen to it for a few minutes. You don't have to spend all day doing this mission, but each and every minute that you spend just goofing off, flying around, swimming, doing whatever before going to the final checkpoint to pass the mission officially will net you a few more bucks and points. Now, you can do a number of these missions all by your lonesome, like Cynthia and I are doing right now, but you even make more money and more points playing with friends and crewmates. So find friends, make friends, and of course you can join crews out there. I would recommend my crew, the Crow Club, linked below in the description section. And all those tips will help net you the maximum amount of money that you can get for all these missions, like Trash Talk, Denial of Service, Blow Up 1 and 2, Rooftop Rumble, and more. Next, we're going to talk about some combat tips. That's right, and if I leave anything out or I get something wrong, let me know below in the comment section. First off, we're going to show you how to do a roll in third person as opposed to first person, because it shows you the animation, and I think it works a little bit better. But you can do it both in first and third person. By the way, that's one of the tips here, is to practice all this in first person, from shooting to running to gunning to jumping to all this. from first to third, so you're comfortable doing it both ways, especially if you're playing this game on next gen Xbox One and PlayStation 4. So how do you do a roll? It's pretty easy. You just have your gun, drawn out your weapon, you aim, and then of course you hit the B button on the Xbox, and then the X button. Wait, no, it's the square button on the PlayStation and the X button on the Xbox. And of course, you use the left analog stick to decide whether or not you go left, right, backwards, or forwards. Now, all these tips will help you combine to make your character more lethal in combat, whether against other gamers, other players. You get the idea. So you also want to learn to be fast or be dead. But at the same time, remember that only fools rush in. So never rush into a situation where you're going to quickly get gunned down. Just look at the mini-map in the bottom left-hand corner. Look where everything is. But at the same time, once you commit to going in on the attack, whether against NPCs or other players, you go in full force, full throttle, you kick ass, and you take names. Because if you don't go in fast, you're going to go in dead. You're going to get wasted, fool. So we're trying to use a combination here, rolling and doing quick zooms at the same time. Then, of course, you got to always learn to duck cover. That's right, cover is your friend, whether it's boxes like these on the helipad, or barriers, vehicles, or buildings. It never hurts to take cover when you're in a combat situation. And rolling always helps too. So practice your rolling skills. Practice makes perfect. Learn to zoom in on targets really quickly. And all these things will make you better when you're playing in free mode against other players, or death matches, captures, LTS, missions against NPCs. And it's not just the weapons. The weapons are important. You got to have a good machine gun, a good rifle, a good pistol, a good shotgun. But you have to use everything combined to make yourself as lethal as possible. And one thing I love about the next-gen consoles is quick toss. Oh yeah, you hold down the left trigger and of course press the left button. Even with a weapon in hand, you can use it for a quick aim and then bam, through that grenade. Use it as a distraction or use it to kill, either or. If it doesn't kill him, it might distract your opponent, your foe, and allow you a chance to get the drop on him. Or get away. Run away! Alright, so those are a couple tips for getting better at doing a little combat action when you're taking on foes, be it other players or NPCs. Continuing with combat tips, we're going into the military vehicles, the attack vehicles, whatever you want to call them. The Buzzard attack chopper, the Annihilator, the Laser, the tank. These are vehicles you want to spend some time using, either flying around in, working on your maneuvering skills, going low, going high, doing barrel rolls, swerving around, doing crazy Ivans, whatever. You want to learn how to become very efficient at using all four: the Buzzard, the Annihilator, the Laser Jet, and of course the tank, and practice using all the weapons. Get better at using the cannon on the tank, get better at using the guns, especially on all vehicles. Use the machine guns on the Buzzard and of course the Laser Jet, because I know everybody likes to use the heat-seeking rockets and missiles, but you also want to be good at using the machine guns, because a lot of times your enemy, your opponent, whether it's a police helicopter or another gamer coming after you, it's almost impossible to hit them with a heat-seeking rocket. Now, sometimes you can get lucky with one that doesn't have a homing, just a straight-up shot. If you time it right, you can use a rocket on somebody that's nearby, but most of the time, for close quarters dogfighting, you definitely want to go with the machine guns. But, like I said, practice using all the weapons, whether you're just doing strafing runs, or in missions, or in free mode. It's always best to learn as much about the vehicle as possible, be it the tank, how much pounding it can get, what it can do, what it cannot do, like go up hills, how well the Buzzard helicopter can maneuver, how fast it can go, as well as the jet. And you just want to know these vehicles as intimately as possible. And you definitely don't want to be a one-trick pony when it comes to the weapons. Now, speaking of weapons and vehicles, let's talk about how you can use weapons in your car or your truck, or a car or truck you happen to steal like I did. One thing I really love about doing this in first person is it just gives you a lot better aim when you're driving around using either your micro SMG, your AP pistol, or grenade, or sticky bomb. And it's kind of tricky because while you're holding down the trigger that allows you to drive, you also have to hold the LB or L1 button Then, of course, use that to pull up your gun. Then you use the right stick to aim with, like I'm doing right here. Took out that guy in the Buffalo. Awesome. Then, of course, to fire, you hit the L1 or, I mean, the R1 or RB button, depending on which controller you use. I hope I'm not confusing you. It seems kind of complicated at first because you're using a lot of buttons at once, but when you drive around, you're practicing like I'm doing. You can even shoot from behind like I'm doing here, and it's really cool when you're a passenger, either riding shotgun or in the back seat of a four-door car or truck, because you can really, provide some great covering fire for your friends, your partners. Now for the final tips, let's have some fun. Let's talk about how you can get the laser fighter jet, because you can purchase all the other vehicles, the buzzard attack helicopter, the tank, and of course the annihilator, as long as you rank up and you earn the money. But unfortunately, no, you cannot currently buy the laser fighter jet. The only way you can get the laser fighter jet temporarily is by breaking into Fort Zancudo military base. Now there's several ways you can go about doing this. The first one is to jack a car, a really fast one. I would recommend either a muscle car like this Gauntlet, a really nice sports car, or the occasional supercar. Do not use your car because you don't want it destroyed and you don't want it to get impounded. So you jump over this hill, you go into the military base, you try not to get blown up, but usually most of the time you end up either getting shot up by a soldier or you get blown up by a tank. Next, you can either parachute or fly in with a helicopter. And unfortunately, this is probably one of the slower ways about getting into the base, so you'll usually get killed. It happens, unfortunately. But your best bet to get a laser jet out of Fort Zancudo, if you just don't want to mess with the bullshit, if you just don't want to have to deal with the laser jets coming after you, trying to shoot you out of the sky, the tanks blowing you up and being shot up by soldiers, and if you got $5,000 to burn to give Uncle Lester a call, go ahead and do so. Cops will turn a blind eye for a few minutes, and you can fly in with a parachute, a helicopter, or just grab another gauntlet like I did and just jump over the fence. And it gives you plenty of time, just a few minutes, so even if your car gets stuck on this barrier like Cynthia did, you can still run all the way down the airbase, grab a laser jet, and fly off to the high heavens. And thus concludes Tips 6.0. I hope you found this information informative. If you did, hit the like button. And as always, if you have any tip suggestions for future installments, please leave them below in the comment section like Ace Gamers did last week. Thanks again, Ace, for your help, and of course, especially if you are a veteran Grand Theft Auto gamer. Any tips I haven't done yet for 7.0 will be much appreciated, because I feel like I'm starting to scrap at the bottom of the barrel again. Anyways, be sure and check out my channel for awesome content 7 days a week. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. Each and every subscription really does help my gaming channel grow. Have a great weekend, and as always, thanks for watching.